Coach, that was a fun game to watch for everybody that got to see it back here last night. What did that win do for this team?
Well, I mean, we went into that, into that weekend, or I guess it was not a weekend, those first two league games on the road, really in a, if you will, kind of an identity crisis. Who are we? Now that we are playing a different kind of a style, different kind of way. I thought we played two great games. I thought we played a really good game at Detroit, and then beat, arguably, I think one of the, probably the best team in our league, but probably, maybe one of the best mid-majors in the country. So give our kids a lot of credit. We got it was very similar to the Detroit game where we kind of led and then we gave it up, and we took a timeout and we talked about it. He said, "Listen, as a young group, you guys are going to have to understand that good teams are going to make a run, and this adversity that you're going through right now, we got to answer." And sure enough, we outscored them 7-0, took a 2-point lead, and they went back up by 5. And then we responded again. So, give our kids a lot of credit for, maturing. Jordan Kaufman, obviously was a big factor in that game. I thought Latin Davis did a good job. I thought Matt played well. Cam played well for 2 games. So, got a lot of young guys that stepped up in the big moments.
Jerry, how do you turn last night? How do you keep that going into this?
Well, Dana, that's the $1 million question. How do we bring our intensity back home with us? And, we talked about not leaving it on the bus and coming out and playing hard and taking the opportunity now to have 2 home games and to come out and play, with that kind of fire and intensity that we've played really 3 really good games. We played really, really well at Notre Dame, and then obviously at Detroit and then at Oakland.
Coach, offensively, is it the current makeup of this team? Is it an 80, 90-point team?
Well, it's clearly a team that's different than what we had played with, and the fact that we're stretching the floor. We're going to take a lot more threes. Like I said to you earlier, it was a busy holiday season for me, knowing that you had lost Bobby and now, we had to come up with some stuff. And I think, we're give the kids credit. I think we're playing to some of the guys' strength, changing a little bit of style of play. I don't know, we took 86 shots. I got on the bus and and one of our assistants said, "Hey, Coach, we took 86 shots." I said, wow. So whether that's, who we are, obviously, people are going to come in and hold you and punch out and try to, do some stuff. And hopefully the officiating stays consistent where, people aren't going to be able to clutch and hold you.
Defensively, where do you see this team?
We have to rebound the ball better. I thought an interesting stat for us as a staff is at Detroit, if you take away offensive rebound baskets and shot attempts from baskets, we held Detroit to about 38% from the floor. Now, they shot 48 because of the offensive putbacks. Now, obviously, the zone kind of is susceptible to offensive rebounding problems, but I thought we did a really good job on Felder. I thought we did a really good job on Hooper, 2 other better guys, and you might look at me and say, well, you had to score 100 to win. But I thought in a lot of big moments, I thought we guarded pretty good. So it's a work in progress to change ourselves defensively a little bit too, not only at the offensive end but at the defensive end also.
Coach, we asked Matt about the underdog role, and he kind of said the team relishes that. From a coaching standpoint, what are your thoughts on
Wow.
underdog?
I don't. That's one of those mythical, kind of questions I really don't do well with. We're out coaching as hard as we can coach. I don't think I know what it would be like to be a favorite, in terms here. So if the kids love it, then I love it. But for me, it really doesn't hold a whole lot.
Jerry, you said you guys have been improving maybe since the Notre Dame game. Is it the best 40 minutes that you've seen so far?
We played really good, Dana. I mean, I guess the thing that really was impressive for me was the contributions by everybody, and Brett made like 3 really big time hustle plays, and tip from behinds, and Cam made a bunch of good plays, and our freshman Jordan Andrews made some good plays. So. Again, I don't sit around and say, hey, that was our best. I mean, that's just not my mind. I'm on the bus, and before it was in drive, I was on the laptop getting ready for Milwaukee. And all I remember about the trip home was, Milwaukee and Green Bay. So.
Since you brought him up, Matt said that win makes him think they can play with anybody in the league. Your thoughts on what it will take to do well against 2 of the better teams in the league?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think we're capable. I think we're hard to guard right now. But you're only good in this league. You're only as good as your last outing. And we've got to be able to play better at home and take care of our home floor. 7 out of our first 10 are on the road, and we've got to play well at home. Now again, in this league, you can play really, really well and lose. I mean, we played really good against Detroit and lost. You know what I mean? And again, I think, I think the officials last night made the right choice. I kept on yelling at them, do the right thing, because the tip-in should have counted. But I'm just, we've got 4, 5, 6 young guys. We just got to get better. And that's really where my mind is that we've got to get those guys playing better, fundamentally better, shoot the ball better, guard better, defend. I mean, we're just, that's really where my heart is. Go ahead.
What's the guy Jordan do so well?
He's just a big, it's kind of a silly statement for me to come out and say he's such a big guy, but that's just what he is. You know what I mean? He was just a factor. A lot of balls were up around the rim, and these 2 big hands came and grabbed him. And he had 5 defensive rebounds, I think, in the last 3 minutes that were huge for us. His offensive tip was because he played with energy. I give the guy, I give the kid a lot of credit. He's down close to 50 pounds from where he was on September 1st. He has made a commitment to be in better shape and to be a better basketball player, and we don't win that ball game without him.
Coach, at the end of last night's game, seeing it in real time and not having the luxury that we had with the TV broadcast, was there any doubt in your mind that he had beaten the shot clock?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't, and I ran right to him, and can't really repeat what I said, but and said to him, that was out of his hand. That wasn't the end of the game horn. That was the shot clock horn. And one of the lead officials, looked right at me and said, I got it. And I just kept on saying to him, do the right thing. And then he looked over at me and he said, I have it, which meant that he had, that he saw everything. And, again, the ball was clearly out of his hand. The thing that was, which was a positive for me, is they took the clock down. They went from 1.3 down to 1, which meant that they were really on their game. So, that gym owes us a couple. We've had some heartbreakers there, and it was good to. At the end of the day, we're going to look back on that game, because that's a heck of a basketball team.
Jerry, is this the type of game, I don't want to use the word jumpstart, but that can ignite you now?
I hope so, Dana. I mean, it clearly makes us feel better. I mean, it was a much more enjoyable ride home. 4.5 hours on a bus, and practice today. So it was hopefully it's a positive.
Any update on Bobby yet? Or?
No, none. Go ahead.
say about what we do? I heard broken foot is.
We're gonna know a lot more this week, and when I know, I won't be evasive with you. I'll you know, I mean, that, you know me, that's not my style. I'll tell you, you know, exactly what it is. We haven't seen Bobby yet, so he's been home. To my knowledge, he's coming back this week. Our doctors will look at him this week, and then we'll have a determination, and I'll share that with you guys.
Other than just get better, as you said, what are the keys specifically to beating Milwaukee on Thursday?
They're big, experienced. I mean, you know, this is a team that's won at Wisconsin. They've won at Minnesota. Clearly the most veteran team in our league with them and Valpo. So many returners, you know, guys that are juniors and seniors, and I'm not sure in their first 8-9 guys rotation there's anybody that's not a junior or above. So they're a good they're a really good basketball team. I think Green Bay's probably somewhat maybe the surprise of the league so far in terms of how well they've played. So it's we've got our hands full. We gotta you know, keep on working at it.